What is up, guys? In today's video, we're going to be going over what the best zero build loadout is at the moment. As always, if you guys do enjoy this video, remember to give it a like, subscribe if you like to see more, and comment down below what your favorite loadout is, because I feel like as of right now, the game is very open. I don't really think there is any one best loadout in the game right now. I'm going to talk about what I like using, some changes you could make, and then also there's a secondary loadout I really enjoy using in the game right now. So for starters, the kind of standard normal loadout is going to be 3 guns, mobility, and heals. As far as mobility goes, I think the shockwave grenades are much better than the grapple glove. I made a video about that earlier this week that will be linked down in the description below. But the shockwaves give you more options when fighting opponents, I think, and you're able to make more pivotal plays with shockwaves than you can the grapple glove, I think. Both are good. I'd rather have shockwaves. If I'm unable to find shockwaves, I'm happy to take the grapple glove. It is much better than not having mobility at all. And then as far as heals go, I think the slurp juice is still just the best healing item in the game. The exotic slap splashes are very good if you're able to find them, but the only way to get them is from hollow chests or llama, so it's not as consistent to find as the exotic slurp juices or the legendary slurp juices, where you can just get it from vaults, you can get it from the island, and you can also get it from activating your combat cache. It's very easy to kind of game plan around getting this legendary slurp juice. You can either land at one of the vault locations to hopefully get it, or just try to make a play for getting your cache as soon as third zone opens. The best way to get a high rarity combat cache is just to be near some form of natural mobility the moment third zone starts, whether that's like launch pads that are in the snow biome or the rift statues that are in the jungle biome. If you're able to rift as soon as third zone opens, you should be able to get to your combat cache at legendary rarity. And then as far as 3 guns go, the ones I want to use, what I found the most success with recently is going to be the Mammoth pistol as my main ranged, like long range option. This weapon does a lot of damage in a single shot, and you don't have to be exposed for as long as a period of time to really use this weapon, which gives it an advantage over the MK, because with like the MK, you have to be peeking the entire time you're dealing damage, which exposes you to the opponent doing damage back to you, obviously. And then you also need an opponent that's exposed for a prolonged period of time, whereas the Mammoth pistol, you can peek in a very brief moment, throw out 90 to 180 damage if you hit the headshot, go back into cover, and you can also punish opponents who are exposed for very minuscule amount of times, which is important because with the overshield, if you have somebody playing cover and you hit them for like 1 or 2 MK shots, it's not really going to mean anything. The MK is still very good, though. You can use the MK instead of the Mammoth pistol. I actually played a game with the MK today for the first time in a few days, and it was crazy just how easy the game was compared to using the Mammoth pistol. I think the ceiling on the Mammoth pistol is higher. If you hit your shots, you're going to kill people incredibly fast. It's going to make it very easy to push somebody once you just tag them for 90 and then you're shockwaving on them. But the MK is very consistent. It's very easy to use, and it's also very good at countering the grapple glove, because anytime you shoot someone in air, it just destroys their mobility, and then they're kind of trapped wherever they land. The Mammoth pistol, you can shoot people out when they grapple, but it's more inconvenient to do so. The MK is really easy to hit a shot on somebody while grappling, so I like the Mammoth pistol. The MK is very good as well. I'm pretty much fine with either or. As far as shotguns go, I still think the Havoc Pump is the best. It's just very good. It's got incredibly high damage. It's got solid range. It's not the best range, but it's got okay range. Whereas like the lever shotgun doesn't have that good of consistency or damage. It's a little bit faster firing than the Havoc, but that's not the biggest deal to me because I'm going to be swapping anyways. And then the Sharp Tooth, it has really good range, but it doesn't have, you know, the up close like damage potential that the Havoc Pump has. So I think the Havoc Pump is just still the best. The Drum Shotty is good if you want a high fire rate shotgun, and then obviously the exotic Maven is great as well if you're able to get your hands on it. But like the exotic slap splashes go, it's not going to be as consistent as getting a legendary Havoc Pump from your combat cache. Like I talked about earlier, if you rift as soon as third zone opens, you should be guaranteed a legendary pump, and that's going to be good for you. And then for the final weapon, I really like having the explosive repeater rifle. Being able to go back and forth between repeater and pump is just insane. I'm surprised it's been in the game for this long because it's very, very broken. Being able to flush people out from behind cover, being able to flush people out from behind bushes or inside of bushes, sorry, forcing people out of cars. There's so much utility on the repeater rifle, and that doesn't even factor the, you know, shockwaving up and then repeatering down on somebody, which is just incredibly cheesy. Again, I am surprised it has been in the game for as long as it has, or been as effective for as long as it has, but that is very good, and I feel like one of the few counters to that playstyle is just to shockwave up yourself and do it back to them. Also, it very much counters the drum shotty. Pretty much anytime I have a drum shotty player playing to get, you know, super close to me and just barrel stuff me with the drum, I just shockwave up and then shoot down on them with the repeater. And that is, like, from what I've found, the ultimate just counter to the drum shotty, because when you're up in the air like that, they can't hit you. And typically the people playing just to barrel stuff you with the drum shotty aren't able to adapt to that situation as much. If you don't want to use the repeater, there's a lot of good spray weapons in the game right now. The tactical pistol is insane, especially with the pistol recycle augment, which gives you a chance for your bullets to not consume ammo. We'll get to that later on again in the video, but I think the tactical pistol is very good again because of the pistol recycle augment. The combat SMG has been insane all season, and for some reason in the Futurama update, they increased its damage by 1. Not a huge deal, but it was already good, and then it just got buffed. And then the flapjack rifle is also insane if you want a spray weapon. Either of those can do. I just think the repeater is very good. The utility of it is insane. And then being able to combo it with a pump in close range is nice. And then the same goes with the Mammoth pistol. I don't like relying on the Mammoth pistol in close range. That's why I don't want to run something like pump, MK, and Mammoth pistol, because if you miss the shot with the Mammoth pistol, you're kind of dead. But with this setup, you can open a fight with the Mammoth pistol. You know, you can shoot the Mammoth pistol, swap to the pump, and then from there just kind of alternate between pump and repeater, and you can kill people incredibly fast. You get kind of the benefit of using the Mammoth pistol in a close range fights, but it's not as kind of it doesn't determine the outcome of the fight as much as if it was your only option to combo with the pump. So I think this 3-gun setup is very good. But like I said, you can drop the Mammoth pistol for the MK. It's going to be very good, and it's going to be much easier to execute, which is probably going to be more consistent for most players. The second loadout I want to talk about is going to be if you wanted to run more utility. So with the Grapple glove being in the game, being able to use shockwaves and grapple is nice because they're kind of good at different things. The shockwaves are really good in those pivotal moments, those game-deciding fights or game-deciding pushes, game-deciding repositions, whereas the grapple glove is nice for getting around the map. It's nice for getting decent timing on third-partying fights without necessarily having to get in, and it's nice to be able to kind of save some shockwaves because you can use it in the less pivotal moment. So having shockwaves and grapple is nice, but this really limits your options because you certainly want to carry heals, obviously. So double utility heals. You have 2 choices left for weapons. From what I've found, the most success using a 2-gun setup is going to be the Havoc pump and the tactical pistol. I talked about earlier about how the pistol recycle augment has made me really like the tactical pistol again. I made a video on this yesterday. It'll be linked down in the description below. But what the pistol recycle augment does is every shot you shoot has a 1 in 3 chance to not consume ammo. And one of the main downsides of the tactical pistol is its 15-round magazine isn't the greatest, and it leaves you very vulnerable to just third parties or running out of ammo in the middle of a fight, and it's just really unfortunate. But especially in a 2-gun setup, when you're going to be using it as your close range spray and your medium range weapon, it is a very versatile weapon, but that magazine size is not great. But with the pistol recycle augment, you should be getting multiple free bullets or multiple bullets that don't consume ammo out of the mag over the course of a fight. Like I said, each bullet has a 1 in 3 chance of that happening. So if you have 15 bullets in a mag, it should happen several times over the course of a fight. And that, in a way, kind of extends your magazine. It's not as reliable as Pistol Amp was, but it's made me really enjoy the tactical pistol again, especially in a loadout like this, where like I said, you're going to be using it as your mid-range and your close range. So like if you get shots on somebody who's pushing you, and then you swap to your pump and then have to swap back to the tactical pistol, it's going to suck if it runs out of ammo. And that's one of the times where those ammo concerns would really matter. It feels a lot more playable this way, I think. And then the Havoc pump, again, is my favorite shotgun. I would like to use the Exotic Maven in this setup, though. Like, if I come across the Exotic Maven, I'm more inclined to take it in this 2-gun setup than I would in the previous one. If I don't get it, it's not the end of the world. I think Havoc Pump and Tac Pistol is an incredible combo. And at medium to long range, the Tactical Pistol is still ridiculous. The bloom on this weapon is very minuscule. And if you're like crouching and not moving while spraying, it is pretty accurate. You're going to get some decent shots on people at medium to long range. Like, obviously, if they're across the map, you're not going to beam them. But if you've wanted to run double utility, whether that's like Shockwave Grapple Glove or Shockwave Bunker, Grapple Glove Bunker, whatever you're trying to do, 2-gun setup, I think Pump and Tac Pistol has been my favorite. You could also do Pump MK if you wanted. It kind of varies. Like the Tactical Pistol, I feel like is more medium and close range dominant, but like the MK, if you wanted something for more long range, it'd be good, but you're not going to have as much close range as you would with the Tac Pistol. So like if you are going to run just 2 guns and have the MK as one of them, you probably would be more inclined to take like a drum shotty or the exotic Maven. But that is going to be it for this video. I hope you guys found this helpful and informative. Like I said, I get asked all the time whenever anything changes in the game to make these videos of what like the best loadout is. And those are what I like using and why I like using it. But there's, like I talked about in the video, there's so many different alterations you could make. There's a lot of really good weapons in the game right now, a lot of really good items. But that is going to be it for this video. Give it a like if you enjoyed it. Subscribe if you'd like to see more. Comment down below what you enjoy using, and I will see you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching.